Welcome back
Hi.
to the Lousy Show.
To the Lousy Show.
That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
I know it's not Tifu, but I grabbed the piano.
Hey, let's go.
Just
W's,
for
W's.
those. Yep. So still over there, just in the corner. But
Well,
it's
that's actually a great segue.
It's in here.
If you're new here, welcome. You might have come here from watching Tifu or watching Him of the Asshole, or you just found us as a recommended on any other site, or listening to us through any other listening site. So if you're new here, welcome. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. We greatly appreciate it. Pushes us further to YouTube. And stick around because we do Reddit reads on Thursdays and Saturdays just for you. Today I fucked up on Thursdays and Am I the Asshole on Saturdays. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what you got going on because I'm going to have to lay some fat bass on that bitch.
Yeah, I think at some point here in the next couple of weeks, we'll get together and we'll just start jamming. It's been a while since we had a jam sesh.
Has been. Yes.
It'll be weird for me to be on a piano and not a guitar, but
yes. I'll tell you what's not weird. Into the AM.
That was an easy one.
It was a layup.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take the easy ones.
It was an oop.
And it's an easy choice to wear Into the AM because it's the best damn clothes on the planet. Just like dope graphic tees like this, hoodies like that, hats like that, draws that he's wearing right now. That's right. And you can also get you some dope stuff like this, amongst many other things they carry, like basic tees, pants, the whole 9 yards. All you gotta do is go to the link in the description or in the pinned comment, intotheam.com/lousy. Again, intotheam.com/lousy. And when you get there, Sam, what do they get?
Well, you get one, just like he said, a great choice of shirts, hats, all the awesome stuff that they offer. But whenever you do pick them, if you put our code in at checkout, which is Lousy, it's Lousy, you get 10% off whatever you're getting. And that's on top of whatever other sales they're running. So you get to not only look good, feel good, but you save a whole bunch of money doing it, which really nice. So you can look good without having to break the bank.
Completely agree. Go there right now. Again, link in the description or in the pinned comment, intotheam.com/lousy, intotheam.com/lousy. Go check it out right now. Go enjoy all the cool stuff you can get. And before you head over there, you have a job to do, and that is to go, if you have this installed, go up into your browser settings and uninstall Honey, because fuck Honey. Uninstall that shit. It's disgusting. Take care of your favorite creators. This is your PSA. Sam, I'm actually quite excited about what this may not be a long episode, but I'm very excited about what we're about to talk about.
But we nerding.
We nerd. So if you saw by the title, we're about to get nerdy. If you're down with the nerdy, welcome. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna be having some great conversation about this. This took place yesterday.
Yes.
As of recording this.
Either yesterday or the day before, one of the two. But
yeah,
very recent.
And so yesterday, for 5.5 hours, Marvel went live with an announcement. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, on the Twitter side, I saw the view count cap out at about 4 million concurrent.
I have no idea. I honestly just didn't know it was actually live streamed for 5.5 hours.
Yes. And so that said live stream, all it was you see like a warehouse, right? The door opens up out of focus and they start setting chairs up, right? Or they have chairs set up and the camera angle keeps pulling back. And every so minutes it pulls back further and pulls back further. And what you see is certain names start to get revealed. And for those who don't know, if you haven't followed along for the last decade plus of wild Marvel conundrums and sagas, we officially got the cast announcement, or at least part of the cast announcement. I feel like there's some names missing from here. I think we're about to get another one soon.
I doubt they would have dropped all of it,
Yeah. But we did get the cast announcement for Avengers Doomsday. And Sam and I are going to run through this list together and probably come up with a couple theories as to how they're going to show up, or what that's going to look like, and overall just get fucking hype.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that we can't be hype about is the fact that if they're just announcing the cast today and showing that production started yesterday, that means we're probably not getting the movie until like 2027.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah.
Just
but
trust the broader plan. There's going to be a lot of content in between now and then.
Yeah.
To be able to hold ourselves over.
I was going to say, it's definitely one of those things where I would much rather them take their time in making sure this movie is good.
Yeah.
Because without a shadow of a doubt, we saw what the fuck happened in phase 4. Don't do that shit again. I'll start by saying this. And you and I grew up together in the Marvel saga. Hell, we grew up watching comic book movies for years prior to that. Growing up watching fucking Blade and the original Fantastic Four. What else did we have?
Like Ben Affleck's Daredevil. Fucking
Elektra.
Yep. I was just thinking because of the new Daredevil season that's out, I kind of want to go back and watch that one just for the nostalgia of it. Like, it wasn't a terrible movie, so.
Well, there's a lot of people who would disagree with you, but
it wasn't terrible.
They're also elitists. So put in the comments if you agree that the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie was actually a good movie. I thought it was.
It was.
It was. I mean, it was the true embodiment of what comic book movies were at that time. Like the way they filmed it and the way they framed it. It was shot just like Tobey Maguire's first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's not bar for bar, but they're definitely pulling from a lot of the same influence, a lot of the same styling. So yeah, it was the phase before the phases, Yeah,
exactly. But here we are. It's 2025, and we're preparing for Doomsday after the absolute abysmal knowledge that came to light of Jonathan Majors, who was Kang, doing his stupid shit, which we do not condone, by the way. Don't even start with us. So Marvel had to go and make a fucking pivot and go, well, do we recast Kang or do we go in a different direction entirely? And these motherfuckers said, why not Doom? And we all went, oh, really?
We're all on board for.
Yes. So let's just start off this full cast list. First and foremost, we have returning Chris Hemsworth reprising his role as Thor.
No surprise there.
Not
if he wasn't in it, I'd be upset. Like, kind of don't need to say much else there.
Now, my concern is this with him. We left off with him basically being a stepdad of sorts, or an uncle, if you will.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
In a very, very mixed opinion movie, that a lot of people really didn't like, and the people who did probably jumped on board in phase 4. I genuinely feel like we need to have something with him before we get to Doomsday.
That would be better than just kind of coming in straight from that. I don't know if there's been any whisperings of anything coming out with him there, though. I'm just trying to think of the stuff that's slated to come out. I'm not seeing where he's going to fit in, at least naturally. I'm just hoping they don't try to force it. But
yeah, I mean, if he's to come back at Doomsday and not prior to, they really need to have like something set up. Maybe just a quick 5-minute breakdown of where the fuck he's been.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of like your friendly neighborhood Thor at this point, where he's just planet hopping and taking care of the little guy, which is cool. But that brings the question, if we're getting Doomsday, is this Victor Von Doom from this reality? Because if so, then that would make sense as to we need backstory for Thor. If this is multiversal Victor Von Doom, then what Thor are we getting?
I also kind of think it kind of has to be multiversal Victor Von Doom because primarily of who they cast to play him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, like, and we'll get to that. I'm sure you already know, but he's the last name on the list, so we'll save that for the
we'll hype that up.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be interested to see which Thor we get, kind of what story they decide to tell with that, or if he's just, I mean, with a cast list this long, you know, like how do you give each of them the time of day if you need to? You know, like I don't think we're necessarily going to be giving a large focus on some of the more minor characters that we're going to be reading off here in a little bit. But, you know, even, you know, with as many minor characters as you have, how do you tell a cohesive story? So.
No, I agree. I agree entirely. But based on some of the names on this list, which we'll get to in a moment, it definitely leans more into the multiversal thought.
Yeah.
And then begs the question, which Thor do we get even more? Because, you know,
could be Thor before all that, could be Thor well after all that, it could be Thor not even related to any of that. You know, like,
it could be it could be All Father Thor.
Yep.
Like imagine 1,000-year-old Thor, white hair, beefed up, riding in on a fucking stag, dude. Just like, oh my god, that would be brutal.
That'd be fun.
But
yep.
Let's move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, we have someone we have not seen play the part yet.
Not yet.
The movie. When does this come out?
I think it's later this year, right?
It is later this year. It comes out. It is slated to come out July 25th, 2025. So just in 4 months. So up next on the list, we have Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm / the Invisible Woman. I am going to hold all reservations on that because I can only assume that it's coming from, we're not getting a multiversal Sue Storm. We're going to get the one that we see from Fantastic Four. But we have no idea the big bad they're going up against in that, because I believe we saw Galactus, but we don't know if that's actually the big bad.
Yeah, I mean, they've been kind of recently teasing a big bad, and then it actually ends up being another big bad alongside of, or kind of, you know, pulling the strings in the background. Like, have you seen the most recent Captain America?
No.
So that
I still need to.
Yeah, you need to watch that for sure. But
okay,
just to kind of go along with what I was saying there, so I'll leave it there just so I don't accidentally spoil anything.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, so it could be, could not be, could maybe, who knows?
Possibly. Up next, we have from Captain America, the new movie, Anthony Mackie returning as Sam Wilson / Captain America.
Yep.
So
again, kind of no surprises there.
Yeah, that one's very straightforward.
Yep.
And also, what I feel is probably the most bromance duo ever. Sebastian Stan is reprising his role as Bucky Barnes / the Winter Soldier.
Yep. I'll also be interested. I can't say anything on this, but I'll be interested to see that. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I can't say any more without spoiling stuff. So I just gotta. You should have watched this movie. I'm surprised you didn't.
I haven't had a chance. If I'm being honest with you, I've tried. I wanted to go see it so bad. I might go see it Saturday. Who knows? The last time I saw the two of them together, though, was in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yep. And I loved Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan were meant to play buddy cop movies together, dude. Like their aura of a dynamic duo is just perfection.
Yeah. I think they did a really good job with everything they did there. So
yeah, I agree. Up next, reprising their role as Shuri / the Black Panther, Letitia Wright is coming back. Now, I will say this. I actually made, when the Black Panther 2 trailer dropped, I remember I was still streaming at the time, and I actually made a bold claim that Shuri would not become the Black Panther, and I was dead fucking wrong.
Sometimes
However,
you win, sometimes you lose.
yeah,
Sometimes it may be
absolutely.
good, sometimes it may be shit.
However, I would also, for her, I would really like to see where this goes, if they're gonna do something beforehand, because there was a lot of that rumored, the rumored storytelling where, what's her name, T'Challa's love interest,
Oh,
do you remember her name?
brother, I don't
Man.
remember my own name sometimes. Like,
Black Panther. Nakia.
that's it. Yeah.
Nakia has their son.
Yep.
And it's heavily leaned into that he's gonna become the next, king. Because it's his right, it's his birthright.
Yeah.
But I really want to see how she plays into that, and as the Black Panther. She took on the mantle to basically protect after her son, her brother passed away. So what is the end goal here for her? And I think she could do a great job. I want to make that very clear. I don't think she's a bad Black Panther at all. I think she could do a very good job. I just want to know where her storyline goes, because we did kind of leave it off on, oh yeah, she's a Black Panther now. Woo. Albeit it was a very, very, I cried a lot during that movie.
Yeah.
I cried
that entire movie was so heart-wrenching, dude. Like,
yeah.
Especially just the first couple minutes of it, dude. That was rough. But
then as the camera continues to pan, we get a very small chair, as Paul Rudd will be returning as Scott Lang / Ant-Man. And I don't need to say anything there. Paul Rudd is he is perfection personified, dude. That man never ages, and that man is comedy gold.
Mm-hmm. Just look at us.
Just look at us. Look at us. Up next, one that I am genuinely surprised, and it makes me want to see the Thunderbolts that much more.
Yeah.
Wyatt Russell is reprising his role as John Walker / the U.S. agent. Now, if you've not seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, you need to go watch it, because that tells the entire story of how John Walker came to be.
Yep. And we're going to be getting a whole lot more from him in Thunderbolts. So I'll be really interested to see that entire story. But then kind of how they develop him into whatever he will be.
Yeah. Because technically, if I remember correctly, when he took the serum, that's when he literally murdered a dude with his shield. Yeah. And they were basically saying, if he gets angry, he just becomes this violent, murderous, individual, super soldier, if you will. I'm really curious to see how that's going to turn out and how that's going to pan into this. Yep. Because especially with him seeing Sam and Bucky again,
gonna be some bad blood there, some hurt feelings.
Yes. I will let you take over on the list from here. I've read enough, so we'll piggyback here.
Oh, of course, the one I won't be able to pronounce. That's the only reason they gave it to me.
I believe it's Tenoch Huerta Meja. I think that's how you pronounce his name,
or something like that. But as Namor,
yes,
which
one of the best.
Go
ahead.
You go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, you.
You
want a kiss?
Kinda.
How you doing?
Cut here for a second. No, I was gonna say one of the best villains on the silver screen.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, he definitely, again, that whole movie, like you said, was heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
And he played that character so well.
It was crazy just seeing kind of that whole kind of just dismantling of what we thought was, going to be a practically impervious Wakanda, and just everything, all the technology they have. He's just like, no, fuck all that. So. Very cool. Plus little wings on the ankles. Dope.
Gotta have your little wings. Man's had
Yeah,
himself some Red Bull this morning.
yeah, he's sponsored by Red Bull.
Good God.
Max Verstappen? What?
Just imagine you see Namor enter into Doomsday and from the distance you hear. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, da, ba, 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 ba.
All
Oh
right.
God.
And of course, the next one is also impossible to read. Got Eben. I'm going with Eben.
Okay.
It's Eben Moss Backrack.
I'm not gonna say I chose to give him the hard ones.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I didn't realize I was doing it until after I said that. I was like,
shit,
oh.
that is cap, as the kids say.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So
I wear one.
Again, new person coming in with a Fantastic Four being the Thing. So
yes, I also really like him as an actor in the Bear.
I still have yet to see the Bear. So
dude,
if
you
it's
love
on the
cooking
list,
shows,
yeah, I need to watch it.
If you love cooking shows, it's where it's at. And honestly, his character progression, that the Bear is what sold me on him as an actor, just to see his character progression and how well he carried that character. Knowing that they had him as Ben Grimm, and then also seeing him as the Thing in the trailer when he was like, "Oh, let's try the sauce." Ooh, like, oh man, I was just like, sold, 100% sold, dude. Like, yes, excited for that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that little Easter egg. That's kind of cool. Because again, I haven't seen the Bear. Next up, we got the Lord of the Rings himself. Not really. Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. He got rings.
He got rings. Man's got more rings than Tom Brady.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see him in another role, just in general. Well, or in another movie, because we've really only seen him in Shang-Chi.
Yes.
So,
yeah. No, so for his character, if I remember correctly, like he's technically multi-dimensional walking because he goes between like the realms.
So. Yeah.
I mean, like, first of all, love Shang-Chi. Great fucking movie. Absolutely phenomenal movie. I kind of go back to the Thor thing. We need a little bit of update on where he's been. Because the last time we saw him, he was with Wong and Bruce and Captain Marvel. Talking about the beacon, the whatever signals being sent out. So like, what happened with that?
Maybe that's where Victor Von Doom comes in.
I'll give a quick theory on this, and this is something that this is after watching Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I think that might get scrapped. Reason being is that beacon was being sent out, right? And those rings, when you look at them up close, if you go watch Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, there were rings around the main dome.
Oh yeah.
Of Kang's fortress. And they resembled very heavily the rings that Shang-Chi wears. So I think that the beacon was going down to him to let him know that like whatever technology he had before, like I think those rings were Kang technology, and just got scattered into the history.
Yeah,
because he's a time traveler.
Yeah, that's cool theory. I like that.
Yeah, I and also it kind of revolves to the fact when they sent him to the quantum realm. Those may have got sent with him and diverted off into another timeline when he hit the quantum realm. So that's just a thought. I may be wrong. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm just fucking stupid for that. But I genuinely think that unfortunately that's going to get scrapped because we're not getting the Kang storyline.
Probably, unfortunately. Yep. But who is not being scrapped, reprising her role as Yelena, is Florence Pugh. Which I personally love Yelena as a character.
Yes.
Like very kind of sassy Russian super spy.
Yes, no, I agree entirely. And I loved her even more in Hawkeye.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She was just chef's kiss.
She really honestly kind of made Hawkeye, I think.
Yeah.
Like no shade on Hawkeye himself, but
yep.
I think
Hawkeye, I'm going to say this. Hawkeye got a lot of people dogging that show.
mm,
But that's the most comic accurate we've gotten of Hawkeye in a long time.
yeah, very true.
Like him losing his hearing, that's comic accurate. The suits, comic accurate. The arrows, like all of it was comic accurate. And then you have Florence Pugh come in and just absolutely crush it. Like,
yep. And so I'll be excited to see more of that dynamic she has in Thunderbolts as well. So this will be very cool.
I feel like you know something that you're just not telling me.
With Florence Pugh, no, nothing at all. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, my wife and I both really like Florence Pugh just in general.
Fair.
Well, so that's kind of hot. You know who else is hot?
Kelsey fucking Grammer.
Kelsey fucking Grammer, which I'm really excited that he's coming back. That's really cool. Bringing back OG X-Men.
And this is where we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
The multiversal effect.
Because they're not doing like Days of Future Past or anything else. They're bringing back the OG cast. Little spoiler for some of the names here coming up. But
yes, but that goes to the thought too. Because did you see the Marvels?
No, not yet.
So damn, son, catch up. That shit came out like a couple years ago.
I know, but I was honestly like, I was interested enough to like watch it eventually, but it hasn't gotten to eventually yet.
Fair. In it, we do see that. You remember in Guardians the teleportation ports to go from like system to system? That apparently got, if I remember correctly, it got ripped open. It opened a tear in a dimension, and what's her name? Is she on the list? I'll check and see. I don't see her. Okay. What was her name? She was from WandaVision. The agent who started to get like Spectrum like powers.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she gets torn in, or pulled into it, seals it from the other side. She can't get back. And the after credit scene was her waking up in a hospital, but the hospital was 1000% the X-Men Mansion Hospital.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
With Beast being the doctor, going like, okay, she's okay. Like,
nice.
And it was 1000% played and voiced by Kelsey Grammer, and everyone. I remember seeing this, and I was just like, yes. So, multiversal effect. That's where we're leaning on this.
And next up, we got Lewis Pullman as Bob / Sentry.
You know what's funny? You seen Top Gun Maverick, right?
Yeah.
His call sign was Bob in that.
The guy's just cursed to play a guy named Bob.
Dude, talk about typecast.
Yeah, he is typecast for sure.
I am ready to see that though, because I saw the most recent trailer for Thunderbolts, and seeing him like full power, or at least for a brief moment, I was like, oh. So
that'll be cool.
Definitely gonna be interesting to watch.
Up next, and this will be the last one I read, is Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, who is Falcon.
That's not a spoiler. It was in the trailer.
I know, yeah.
I knew you were trying to hold it back, and I'm like, it's okay.
And I know you're literally looking at the same list I am, but like it's
yes,
yeah. I won't go into detail, but I like his character. I do like his character. Some people were shitting on it. I like his character. I think he's a good mix with Anthony Mackie.
Fair. I will say this for all intents and purposes. seeing Falcon and the Winter Soldier and seeing him lean more and more into the idea of becoming Falcon, I was like, he's gonna become Falcon. There's no question.
Yeah.
How they were gonna do that, I don't know. Haven't had that answer for me yet because I haven't seen the movie. So I will hold myself accountable and go watch the movie within the next 3 days, maybe 4, depending. We'll see. Okay. Would you like me to take over now?
Yes, please.
Up next, we have the upside down metalhead himself, Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things, bringing his role of Johnny Storm / the Human Torch to this fine cast list. That is one individual. I will say Joseph Quinn won me over.
Oh yeah,
with just ease, man. He
such
is
a good job at Stranger Things, dude. Like such a good job.
He is so good. He is such a great actor. I mean, he's a fellow metalhead, which is just icing on the cake.
I like what
next,
I saw from the just real quick from the trailers of him as Human Torch. So far, very good.
Yep, I agree. Up next, and one that I am absolutely stoked to see because every role he fucking plays in, he decimates it. David Harbour is coming back as Alexei Shostakov, or the Red Guardian.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so stoked to see him return as Red Guardian, dude. I'm
just so excited to see him more in Thunderbolts as well. So like that.
Yes. Dude, David Harbour doesn't miss.
No.
David Harbour doesn't miss. Like, hear me when I say that. He does not miss. Every role he plays is fantastic. So it just makes it even better for this.
Yep.
Also, another favorite of mine coming back that I will say in my previous statements about Black Panther, I actually said that he would become the next Black Panther. And that is Winston Duke returning as M'Baku.
I think that would have been a cool alternate timeline, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think if they just kind of threw a little nod at that, I'd enjoy that for sure. But I never really saw that being a full movie, being Black Panther, you know?
Let me see something here real quick. In some comic book storylines, M'Baku, the antagonist, who is also known as the Man-Ape, has become the Black Panther after the death of T'Challa.
Oh.
After T'Challa's death, Wakanda is under threat, and M'Baku steps up to become the Black Panther, even joining Shuri in the final battle against Namor. After Namor's surrender and Wakanda's return to normal, Shuri decides to travel to the world, and M'Baku calls for a challenge for the throne, becoming king. So that was from the movie, specifically that part. But as far as in the comics, he has become the Black Panther before. So I think that I agree with you. It might not have been a full movie.
Yeah.
But it definitely would have been cool to see.
Maybe like in a What If episode or something. Like,
dude, I wish they hadn't stopped that. It was so good.
Yeah.
The last couple episodes are kind of weird though.
I mean, you have some good, so, you know, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
No, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
A lot of good.
Interesting return here.
Yeah,
Hannah John Kamen as Ava Starr, also known as Ghost. I want to see how well she does in Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Because I was not sold on her character in Ant-Man.
Yeah. I'm still not sold, but I'm going into Thunderbolts with open mind, open heart, open eyes, open ears.
Yeah.
And hoping that I like it.
Yep. I also want to go on the record and say this. It's not that I don't like the actor. I just don't think the writers did her character enough justice in that movie. Because that movie had a lot of plot lines going on that needed to be settled. And in the end, I feel like she kind of got overshadowed by some of those.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me if it honestly gets kind of overshadowed again, but we'll see.
Yep. Then a blockbuster reveal.
Mm-hmm.
And one that every person who saw this wept with tears of joy and screamed like fangirls all around the world. The next chair revealed was Tom Hiddleston reprising his role as Loki.
I was so happy to see that. I wasn't sure if we would see him back, honestly. You know, I thought they might have just tied that one up and called it good.
Yep.
But love me some Hiddleston. Love me some Loki. Very glad to see that.
And I will go ahead and say that Loki, if you disagree with this, you're wrong. Loki is the best Disney Plus series to date. The story, the actors, all of it.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Yep. I should say besides Daredevil has been
it's been
chef's
really
fucking
good.
kiss.
Yeah.
Not a spoiler. Have you seen the most recent episode?
The 2 that just came out, right?
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to say this because this doesn't come out until next week. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, when he dropped that, I was like, oh yes.
Yes. I saw it. I was like, come on. All right.
All these next ones, dude.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. And there's some that are missing that we're definitely gonna talk about once this list is done. But I'm not gonna sprint through these, but I'm gonna cook through them and fangirl with Sam at the same time. Up next, Sir Patrick Stewart returning as Professor Charles Xavier.
So you better put some respect on his name.
Oh yes. Followed by Ian McKellen as Gandalf.
Crossover.
Now as Eric Lensher / Magneto. Boy.
Those two just
now
by themselves.
The next one.
Amazing.
The next one.
Yep.
Alan Cumming returning as Kurt Wagner / Nightcrawler, dude.
Alan's not the only one coming right now, dude.
Dude, oh my God. Dude, Next, and I'm going to butcher her name. I apologize. Rebecca Romijn, I think is how you pronounce it,
as
have no Mystique.
Idea. Yup.
Then James Marsden as Scott Summers / Cyclops. Compose.
Yep. Now here, let's bring it down a little bit, and before we get into the last 3, talk about who's missing from that the original X-Men cast.
Yep. Well, the obvious. Halle Berry.
Yep.
Yep. Halle Berry's not there. Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman's not there.
Jean Grey. I can't remember her name. The actress who played her.
Yeah, I got nothing.
You know what? We have computers in front of us. Hang on.
We have the technology.
I am gonna butcher her name. How do you pronounce that?
I don't know, but Connor's a bitch, isn't it?
She is. Wow. She is 60 now.
Holy
I did not know
shit.
that. Keep going, girl. How you doing? Yo, all I'm gonna say. Show of hands for who had the biggest crush on Jean Grey back in the day. Yep, dude. Woo. 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 Yeah, I can't pronounce her name. I apologize to anybody out there. It's like
try it. Gotta try it.
Okay. Fam Jansen. Can I get a pronunciation on this? Can you use it in a sentence?
It's a country of origin.
Yeah. Dutch.
Kind of figured.
Yep. So yeah, she's not on there.
Yep.
There's another obvious one. Spider-Man's not on the list.
True. I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
What if they bring all 3 of them back again?
Secret Wars. What if this leads right into Secret Wars? Okay. Doctor Strange isn't on the list.
Yep. Which is surprising.
Yep. Hulk is not on the list. Peter Quill is not on the list.
Yeah, none of the Guardians.
None of the Guardians are on the
except
list.
for Thor, technically. And then part of Groot's arm is on
right
there. Black Widow.
Why would Black Widow be on there?
I know.
She's dead.
Yeah. They could bring her back. You don't know.
New Vision. New Vision's not on the list.
Yeah, New Vision's not there. Which I want to see more of that, honestly. I'm intrigued with that entire storyline, but they haven't even thought about it, I don't think. But
Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel.
Yeah, they just canon that whole.
Yeah, I guess they're not on the list.
Again, you know, they could be on the list.
This is the first round. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of who else.
I think at this point we can read our last few.
Well, I'm going to give a couple other honorable mentions here.
Okay.
Blade. Wesley Snipes isn't on here. Ryan Reynolds is not on this list. Deadpool.
I don't think they're ever going to give Deadpool the main stage, honestly.
They need to.
I know they need to, but I don't think they're ever going to, which makes me sad, but maybe our grandkids will get that one day.
Maybe. There was one more. It was it was another X-Men. Oh, Iceman. Iceman's not on here. Or Rogue.
Yep.
Curious to see about those. But yes, to your point, bringing up Deadpool. Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here today, boy. Channing Tatum reprising his role as Remy LeBeau. Gambit is back.
That is interesting that they're kind of mixing old and new X-Men adjacent characters, you know. So but I mean he is Gambit. There's nobody else is. Nobody else.
Gambit actors. Taylor Kitsch. Also love him in Battleship. Battleship's a great movie. Don't fucking at me. Taylor Kitsch played him in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yep. I thought he did a great job in X-Men Origins Wolverine. But, so I would like to see him show up in Secret Wars.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see that happen. There's one thing I will say this, for anybody who hasn't seen X-Men 97, have you watched X-Men 97?
No, not yet. Again,
this isn't going to spoil anything because it's out long enough. So if you don't want me to say it,
I'll forget. Let's be real.
I would like to see in Secret Wars one thing. I would like to see them bring Taylor Kitsch in and have him and Channing Tatum kind of like collide as Gambits. And if they don't plan on keeping Taylor Kitsch around, I would like to see the scene where he gets impaled by one of the Sentinels and he grabs the Sentinel and charges it with his power and blows it up. That is an X-Men 97, and that is one of the most impactful, meaningful, powerful scenes I've ever seen in any animated series, period. Mind blown. So, only thing. Up next, if it wasn't obvious enough, based on the previous three that we've already read, Pedro Pascal reprising his role as Reed Richards, also known as Mr. Fantastic.
Gotta love some Pedro, man.
Pedro Pascal is the warm, fuzzy blanket of Hollywood, and I love him for that.
I just really hope he doesn't have any fucking controversies come out, dude. Like, that one will crush me, probably. But
yeah. There's very few Hollywood, titans that I kind of cling to. And like, for instance, Matthew McConaughey, one of my all-time favorite actors.
Yep.
That dude, I have no doubt in my mind, clean as a whistle when it comes to any kind of like drama or bullshit, because he's always so real and upfront.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal's definitely on that list. And if Pedro Pascal ever, like you said, ever has anything come out, dude, I'm just gonna go like, I'm gonna go cry in the rain.
Yep. On a better note, though, I am excited to see that whole Fantastic Four movie come together, especially with the whole kind of like 60s aesthetic, you know, kind of taking it back to OG, like this was the original comics, you know, that I think that'll be cool.
There's one thing I want to say. I hope that for them, it's a multiversal thing.
I think it's gotta be.
If they are going with the 60s, you know, montage style, and they place it in this universe, where the fuck have they been? Where the fuck have they, you can't write that in. That is one of the biggest super groups ever, and you're telling me they just went, oh, there's a big bad purple guy here? We fought one bigger. Like, no, there's no way. No fucking way. So it has to be multiversal. And if it is, I think that's going to be even better, because it's going to allow them to have a lot more creative freedom.
Yeah.
Not being deadlocked to what this universe pertains to. So
agreed.
Last but not least, and in this live stream, we see in the distance, the door opens up and someone begins walking alongside the front of the chairs. Walking in a gray suit. Slowly pacing, slowly coming in frame. And then you see it. The fabled facial hair. The lit up face. The stature. There's no question you know who it is. Has Iron Man come back to save us? No. It's Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom, also known as Dr. Doom. I know that we all want Iron Man to come save us, but Robert Downey Jr. is about to do things to us we never thought were possible.
He blew our minds originally back with the original Iron Man. He will do it again as Dr. Doom.
Yes.
I'll put all my money on it.
And this is to take nothing away from any of the other actors, you know, who have played throughout the ethos of Marvel movies. But there are two people that, if ever I see their faces, I can, especially in a Marvel situation, I know they will take care of that movie to the fullest. And I know we are going to get grade S plus tier material. And that is Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. If you see either one of them, just know that shit's about to pop the fuck off.
Yep. Simple as that.
Yep. Now, I'm going to say this. I really, really, really need Marvel to get their shit together, because while a lot of people didn't necessarily like it, I really loved Dr. Doom from the original Fantastic Four movies. The ones we grew up on in the 2000s. I thought he did a great job. I thought he was maniacal. I thought he was evil. A lot of people were concerned about how he was portrayed. If we get that shit sandwich that we got from the reboot, don't.
I don't
just
think
don't.
they will. I don't think they can at this point. You know, I think there's too many people that care enough about the universe. Like they, you know, some could argue they've made some mistakes along the way, but I think they care enough about the universe as a whole that they'll do this one some really good fucking justice. I feel like they kind of have to kind of go back on an uptick in the overall mind's eye of the people. Yeah,
I think that these next movies that we're going to get are definitely going to be bringing us back up. So long as they did correctly, they're going to bring us back up. And I think this is going to get us back to that point where we were with like the end games and things like that. Like, I think we're going to get up there. Because I mean, like when it comes to the Avengers movies, like when you think about it, the original Avengers movie, classic, absolutely. I mean, I remember seeing it in theaters with you, like midnight release. Oh my god, fantastic. Age of Ultron. A lot of people hate it. One of my favorite Avengers movies. Period.
That was one of the best. Yeah. Very good.
By far. Yeah. Infinity War. Revered to be the best Avengers movie of all time.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Endgame. Revered to be the next best.
Very close second. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when it comes to monumental situations like this and knowing who is helming this movie and that Feige, if he hadn't come out and said what he said about like, no, we're pulling the reins back, we're going to fix this shit, knowing that he is genuinely pushing to have Marvel bring back the quality of content and not the quantity of content, and seeing all of these names on this list takes a lot of anxiety away.
Yep.
And I feel like we're getting back into that, like I said, Infinity War Endgame era, especially with Secret Wars coming out right after that.
Yeah, let's talk about just the significance of an announcement like this, streaming it for 5.5 fucking hours. You know, like that they're leading up to something big. I also am calling it now that 5.5 hours is going to have some sort of significance. That time frame, because they're not doing that for 5.5 hours for no fucking reason. You know, so I think it will have. I'm not saying it's going to be a 5.5 hour movie,
but it could be a part 1, part 2.
That or like something in the movie itself will, like they'll have like, you know, 5.5 hours to save the world or some shit, you know, like I think 5.5 hours is going to play a role in some way or fashion.
Yeah, I could see that. You heard it here first, folks. Quote him. Yeah, my body is ready for this. Any closing remarks?
I think it's a good, solid foundation for what should hopefully be another great era, in the Marvel universe. You know, will it be as great as some of the original Legends? Remain to be seen, but I'm excited for what I'm seeing so far.
I agree entirely. I have high hopes. Like I said, with a cast list like this, there's a lot of anxiety that falls away from this because it was a worry of how they were going to do it, especially after the conundrum that was Phase 4. But I feel like they are righting the ship. We are getting quality movies coming out. I will go see Captain America and make sure I watch that. I just knowing who's back, knowing what could be, knowing what is on the horizon, Marvel's back, bitches.
Yep.
So let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, we'd love to hear the feedback. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel if you have yet to do so. Like the video if you dig goofy, nerdy shit like this, because we love doing this. And we'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.